worked as an emergency trauma care physician for some time, which gave me a real time understanding on dealing with all these. So those things are the aspects which I could influence as part of the story. Second part is the interest line. I'm always fascinated with crimes. I'm always fascinated to identify what goes next. Whenever I started seeing or reading or hearing about stories with respect to crime. So that's how, I got into this.
So actually, a lot of research, thought, and imagination has gone into the detailing of this book.
Yes.
Like all detective novels, yours has an elaborate plot. You have the clues around. You have a red herring, and then you lead the audience. I mean, you lead the readers through a maze, and finally the climax. But this collection of leads and clues would seem little chaotic for a first-time author. So, how did you manage to avoid the trap of getting into this?
So for that, I think I should answer, how I started this. So as I always say, everything happens instantaneously. I don't just like that, forcefully put myself to write. So though at one instance, something came across as phrases like, Dr. Siddharth, the medical practitioner who's so handsome and, liked by everybody and well-mannered gentleman, suddenly, gets into a conflict and with a character called Jay Matthew. And the next day, the police says the Jay Matthew is dead and he's been murdered. And neck injury, there is a neck injury caused by a surgical knife with a clean cut, which can be done only by a very reputed, highly skilled practitioner. So, and Siddharth being one of the person, and one more thing is the encounter that he had with Jay Matthew makes him a circumstantially, a suspect for this murder. So this is what I started with. And then the question myself I put across is, what happened and how did it happen? And is he the real murderer? So these questions I popped up inside my mind. I tried to find answers. And the journey started like that, and I started adding more scenarios to it. And then most of the scenarios had open-ended, open ends where I wanted to again, connect all those logically with the, clean connections which will relate to the story. So then I had to go back and forth and rewrite the stories. And it took almost 1.5 years to get into this kind of a plot and the final version of it.
Yes, all the loose ends, nicely tied up. So, how has this newly found status as a novelist changed you? Do you now consciously go around looking for stories?
First of all, I'm still not able to digest that people call me a novelist, because I'm one person who would like to explore many things. So that's how, this journey also happened. And I never get into an instance or, sit across and try to find stories. As I always say that there are many learnings from day-to-day life. So as and when I encounter something interesting, that's where I just pick it up and then start thinking over it, and then start thinking about a storyline. And that converts it into a story or a blog, and this has been a trigger for me always.
Okay. Crime novels often run as a series involving protagonists, Hercule Poirot, Sherlock Holmes, etc. So, do you see Head Over Heels as the first of a series, or is this one-off?
That's a good question. At the moment you said Sherlock, and this is one of my favorite character. So I remember my character in my story, like where this Vikram, the detective. Usually, any detectives are portrayed as a very sharp, very shrewd personality who always look for clues and everything. But unlike that character, this character I have portrayed as a very normal, unattractive and unassuming guy.
Yes.
Who just like that casually interacts with people, and but ultimately he is the person who turns out to be the brilliant detective who tries to figure out all these loops, the missing loops, and connects it and solves the case. So yeah, so that's one part. Second part, whether I will get into a series mode, I don't know yet, because as I am so, sometime I myself don't realize what I will do next. But to add to that, I would like to say there are something that is, or some projects which are already in pipeline. So Head Over Heels is actually not the first novel of mine. The first novel is Delicate Darlings, which I started writing, and that's more closer to my heart. And the reason is that has stories portrayed which I wanted to give it a more color and more thoughts, and that's where I'm still working on it. So the next project which I'll be releasing will be that. And also I have some thoughts in my mind to publish a compilation of short stories, animation stories for children. And because people who have read my blogs have given me such ideas where they because mostly my characters in blogs are animals than than my humans.
Okay.
So that's where I've still not got into the understanding like how I can convert some of my stories into a children one, but still I would like to work on that subsequently.
Oh, so you will be exploring new genres.
Exactly.
Okay. And we eagerly wait for your next book.
Thank you.
Give an insight into the act of, can you give us an insight into your act of writing? How long did this novel take from start to finish?
Yeah, it started around 1.5 years back.
Okay.
And as I said, it just started one fine day, and there were certain things which, in fact, I had to read back my own medical books to refer, because whatever I'm writing, it should be meaningful and logically correct when people start reading it. So I should not give a biased, kind of instances just because it's a fiction sort. So I had to read a lot of medical side of books, and other aspects which has always, influenced me is the real-time forensic series that comes in television, which I closely observe, and how they come out with the witnesses and evidences and prove cases. And while saying that, I would like to add one instance in my story. There is a character called Zenith. So Zenith is getting into a situation and where she gets trapped, and she fears that she will be called accused for a murder of a thug called Muni. So, but ultimately, the forensic expert does the postmortem of his body, and based on his findings, they declare that a person of adequate height and build, and who has good strength can only do the murder, because the findings were based on the cuts that was there in the body, the depth of the cut, assessing the depth of the cut, angulation in which they have done the cut, then serrations of the knives. So all that they have taken into consideration, and finally deciphered that it can be only done by an individual who's of this and such height and built. So that helps in eliminating Zenith as a suspect. So this is where the power of the forensic science comes in, and those are the intricate details I thought, okay, the story should emphasize. And so these things, I took a little time to understand and get back to bring it into a scenario and incorporate into the story at the right moment. So that's the reason. So I took almost an year and a half to complete it.
With all this reading and research, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of books in the pipeline.
Hope so, I'm not sure.
Before we conclude, I would like to read an excerpt from Dr. Lakshmi Prada's director fiction, Head Over Heels. As they approached the podium, they could hear a lot of noise than usual. They saw a huge crowd, and some people were unusually staring at each other and television back and forth, murmuring something. What is happening, Sao? It appears that something is wrong. Let's check. Carrie asked the inmate for a detail. One of them pointed her finger on a television. The local television was on and it had some breaking news flashing. Dr. Siddharth arrested for murder. Oh no, that's not possible. Yesterday, blabbered Soumya. Keep quiet, Soumya, and don't utter a word here, said Carrie. Since they were already late for the class, they rushed towards the lecture hall, but later they realized that all classes were cancelled. The entire medical college campus was filled with policemen and press reporters. Soumya and Carrie went inside an empty lecture room and sat in a corner to read the matter in detail, using the internet on the phone. Dr. Siddharth arrested for a murder. Dr. Siddharth, Associate Professor, General Surgery, Bharat Medical College, was arrested today morning at 7:30 a.m. under suspicion of the murder of 30-year-old J. Matthew. J. Matthew was the second son of the late Mr. Matthew Simon, owner of Simon Pharmaceutical Company. He is survived by his mother Elizabeth and elder brother Abhay Matthew. Readers, don't forget to find out who killed J. Matthew. Dr. Lakshmi Prada's book is available on ebook, Kindle. Please check it out on Amazon.
Thank you, Anita.
Thank you, Prada. It was such a pleasure talking to you.
Same here.
So anyone questions?
Yeah. So very basic question. I think half the people who come here have an aspiration to write books. And given your busy schedule, I just wanted to know if you have any tips. How do you make time to write books? Or when did that idea come to your head that you want to write a book by yourself?
So I think part of it I've already answered, but so as I said, I don't keep any specific time. So as and when, when you get focused, so when you start, you have to, whatever you do, you should have some interest. And right, so the interest will turn out to be a vigor where you will have to, you will figure out time for yourself. And it might be even in late night after 10 o'clock, after completing all your tasks and other things where everything is silent and your brain is fresh. And that's when, you get more new ideas. So that's about me, like what I'm saying. So most of the time, I sit and think about it, think about the instances that happen in my day-to-day life at the end of the day. That's how I relax myself. And then, I pick up some good instances which gave me some insight about what exactly, that instance has, impacted. So if that is something that I like and I feel it has to be said to others also, I build up into a small storyline and I just pen it in my book somewhere. And it may not turn out to be a big story or a blog, but I keep adding those instances and sometimes I feel, okay, let me elaborate it sort of. So that's how it is. So you don't need any, you don't have to put yourself under pressure that I have to write. So that's what I would say.
Like my question is very basic and very genderly questioned. Like being a female, it's quite difficult or challenging to face a society and all that. How you felt during all your journey till now? being a female, actually, female empowerment.
So one thing is that there is nothing like, I expect everyone, this doesn't happen always. I expect everyone to get this gender bias out of their mind. Okay. So there's nothing like, men and women, and there is no much differentiation that is required.
But the society does, no?
So that society does. So that's where I think we need to be on a bolder front. We don't have to show our, what do you say? The negative. So it gives a negative vibrations from other side. But so to neutralize it, we have to portray the positivity, pushback, stating that they smile always on the face. Whatever they say, that might be very striking to you, but what I feel is that, let them speak out. So that will help them get their thoughts out, and I can give them the clarification. So whenever such instances come, so I allow them to talk, and I give them the right, politically right answers, which clarifies what they have in that mind. So it's not easy. Sometimes you may have to ignore because not everybody understands it the way you want to. But you just have to move on. Sometimes certain things doesn't matter in life, because what you feel is relevant is what is picked up, and you have to just take it up and move ahead. So that's the way I take life.
Inspiring, ma'am.
Thank you.
If nobody else has any question, I have one. This is a crime thriller, right? So you must have some literary influences or some favorite authors of yours who are murder mystery novelists. So can you talk about them?
So for a change, let me tell you, it's more. I do read Michael Crichton and the novels, but the more influence is as I said, these medico-legal series which I watch. And so I've been a fan of X-Files. Hope you have heard it, right? So X-Files. So it all started with that, followed by ER. I don't know. Yeah, Michael Crichton and Stephen Spielberg directed that. So that's the next phase where
George Clooney.
And then came Dr. House, the very, very the sarcastic way he deals with the patients, but finally he brings out the required outcome, right? So that is another thing which fascinated me. So likewise, there are many, and real forensic series which are now available, so to watch. So those are the things that inspired me.
Okay, looks like we're done. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was a very fascinating insight into your book. Thank you.
Thank you.